Good morning from the Richardson Highway. We got our caribou yesterday, and this morning we thought we'd come out and do some grouse hunting.
And also, they're kind of plentiful. And as you guys know, since we're up here, we kind of like to harvest off the land what we can and be a little more self-sufficient. So this should be fun. And this is also going to be your first experience actually pulling the trigger on something. You've participated in a lot of hunts.
Killed a lot of fish.
Yeah, done a lot of fish, but actual, oxygen breathing animals, this is going to be a first.
Yeah.
How you feeling?
A little nervous.
Yeah? It's okay.
We'll see.
Okay guys, we respect these birds and they're beautiful creatures, but they're not the smartest birds around. They literally just sit and stand there and stare at you a lot of times. You almost can walk up and just kick them with your boot. But we use this 22, so we're not picking out shot, but all we're doing is just driving along the pipeline, and these birds are roosting in all this gravel here. Got our first one, guys.
Shot that one in a tree.
Yep. It's a beautiful bird, and they have a pretty good bit of size to them. Number 2. Number 3, guys. We're gonna call you Tuesday, because we'll eat you on Tuesday. Okay, there's some grouse over there. Beck's walking up on them. All right, here's the first bird that she got. She's walking down the shoulder ditch trying to get more. What's that?
Did you pick up the bird?
I did. So how did that feel?
It wasn't that big of a deal. I just did it. It wasn't really any different than a fish.
Yeah. You think there'd be a difference when you have a big game animal in your crosshairs?
Yeah. It was a little freakish when the bird started flapping its wings on the way back, but I just took its head off.
Just so you guys know the rules, this pipeline road is just like any other road where you don't, and you're not allowed to, and you're not supposed to, it's illegal to shoot from the road surface, on the road surface, or across the road surface. So you need to get in the ditch, and once you're in the ditch and your target is in the ditch, and as long as it's not crossing over the road, you can shoot. Obviously you don't want to hit the pipeline. That's like a no-brainer. Got one.
I did.
Okay, we saw one. Oh, it's still there. She's lined up. Good shot.
Thank you.
Well, I know this type of hunting is like not what you see on TV where, you got your bird dog walking through the field shooting pheasant. But these birds, they like the grit and gravel and sand on the road surfaces, so they kind of just hang out by the road surfaces, and you see one, you jump into the ditch and you shoot. It's a good way to put food on the table. I don't know about you, but there is no better way to spend a Saturday morning than going hunting with your wife and your spoiled rotten little dog. All right, those birds are adding up.
Yeah, they are. All right, we used this creek yesterday to clean off all of our gear after the caribou hunt, and we thought this would be a great place to come clean our grouse as well.
We have 8 birds to clean, and kind of curious to see how many meals this is going to add up to. All right, it's been a while since I have cleaned birds like this, but I know that my preferred method is not to pluck the feathers, even though the skin is nice. But I usually like to just rip them open and expose the breast meat.
Always been a breast man.
Oh yeah. See, there you go. You got access to the meat right there.
That was easy.
It is.
That's actually quite a bit of meat, surprisingly.
Yeah. They have some pretty good sized breasts. So step 1 is complete, and here's the breasts, and here are the thighs and legs. We'll just set these all over here, and we'll do like a more detailed cleanup later. And we'll also kind of dispose of this pile of feathers and guts. So here we go, all in one shot. The head comes off, expose the breast. Okay, and there's another breast, or 2 breasts.
It's enough for each of us to have one bird for a meal.
Yeah, it's a decent amount of food. It's a bit messy, but you know, most people have an extreme disconnect with where their food comes from, and it really kind of brings it to life when you gotta kind of harvest and clean and do all that to your own food.
My turn. So after watching Ben kind of refresh his skills, I'm gonna start by cutting off the
the feet.
This thing's still warm.
I know, they all are.
Looks like this one took a bullet in the chest.
Okay. And that's why they're called spruce hens, because they have spruce needles in their stomachs.
Yep.
Spruce grouse, spruce hens, same thing for us.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Good job. We'll clean them all later.
Yeah.
Nice little pile of meat forming there.
And then the heart. There's one thigh.
Nice.
The one problem I see with cutting things off on the outside first is then I have feathers all over the scissors.
I think there's going to be feathers no matter what.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
There's the other thigh.
Nice.
Alright, well the responsible thing to do is once you're done cleaning them, take the remains back here away from the road. Alright, finished product all said and done. 8 grouse. Breasts, thighs, and hearts.
It's starting to look more like food.
It is. Cleaned and rinsed off and ready to take home and make some lunch.
Well, we've had a great afternoon. Watched movies and lounged around. Great Saturday. Now it's time for dinner. If you guys haven't tried these Indian marinade sauces, they are pretty awesome. We have a pretty big batch of food going, so I'm not sure if we're going to be able to get away with just one. So we might have to combine vindaloo with tandoori.
Alright, the grouse finished cooking. I added the vegetables back in and we opted to go with the tandoori sauce. It ended up being enough. So now we just have to let it simmer and let all of the seasonings meld, and then we'll have dinner ready.
Real life paper plates when we're camping in the RV. That looks great.
It does.
Not bad at all. Nothing like a little field to table on a Saturday afternoon.
All in one day.
How's it taste?
Really good.
So we can go spruce grouse hunting some more?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thanks for joining us today. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, because who knows what kind of videos we're going to be making for you next. We'll see you later.